Poornima day. I'm by the Bay of Bengal, the wonderful Bay of Bengal. The sun setting behind me. G. Ramachandran from Kriya Shakti. G. Ramachandran from Kriya Shakti. Kriya Shakti and Kriya Shakti mean the same, the creative energies for India. Guru Poornima day, Guru Poornima day. India's opportunities are vast. Ships in the distance, great momentum, unceasing energy. Twitter and LinkedIn play a wonderful role, and so does YouTube. My video on why India should issue dollar-denominated bonds has created a lot of interest. Good evening, Guru Poornima day. I say pranam to all my teachers who have given me the wisdom to seek wisdom. Jab tak jaan hai, tab tak prapt karenge gyan. There is no end to learning. And I'm glad that some of the watchers of my video on why India should issue dollar-denominated bonds have called me half-baked. They've compared me with Dr. Raghuramji Rajan and shooed me off, stating that you're a half-baked guy. And that's very good. Being half-baked still means that there is so much room to learn. I am work in process, which also means that I am work in progress. यही है मेरी इच्छा, यही है मेरी आशा. जब तक जान है, तब तक मैं छात्र ही रहूँगा. To remain a student forever. Sadaiv Chhatra hi rahunga, Sadaiv half-baked, which means that I can continue to learn. Meri kshamata badegi, seekhne ki kshamata badegi. Yahi hai meri ichha, yahi hai meri asha. It's always very good to say that we'll be committed to a life of total learning. It's very good for the country. Now, getting back to the dollar-denominated bonds, I had said that India should very squarely overlook the discouragement and the advice given by Dr. Raghuramji Rajan. My watchers have also said that I should add another king, another Rajan, Dr. Chakravarti Rangarajan, another former Reserve Bank of India governor. So we've had two Rajans, two kings, urging the Indian government not to issue dollar-denominated bonds because that would push India into a position where it has to face currency risk. Very clearly that. Now consider this. Since 1992, India's had a policy where India's corporations have been facing currency risk. Many of the companies that have issued bonds, convertible or otherwise, many of the companies that export and then earn in dollars, many of the companies such as Indian Oil Corporation that buy crude oil and have to pay out in dollars, all these companies have learned how to manage foreign currency risk. But the two Dr. Rajas, Dr. C. Rangarajan and Dr. Raghuramji Rajan, think that if India were to issue dollar-denominated bonds, the Indian government would be pushed into managing or facing currency risk. It somehow reveals their inner lack of courage, their inner state, that they think that the rough and tumble should be faced by India's companies and that government should have a very comfortable, cozy life. They've been governors of the Reserve Bank of India, employees of government, not employees of the private sector. So seeking such comfort in solitude while other companies face currency risk day in and day out seems to be their choice. Therefore, they've urged that India should not issue foreign currency denominated bonds, especially dollar-denominated bonds. This is very funny. This is like stating that the Indian army should be in the private sector hands, that the defense forces should not belong to the government of India because that would mean that in the event of a confrontation on the border, the government would be embarrassed. It would be at risk of defending the nation's borders. Therefore, the borders should be kept secure by the private sector. So there's currency risk and border risk. See how disparate their views are. Border should be secured by the government of India. But currency risk should naturally be managed only by the private sector. They can issue foreign currency bonds, be exporters and importers, but the government of India should have nothing about it. Very clearly that. Let's consider cricket. It's like stating that in Test cricket in particular, or in the one-day internationals, when the first couple of overs you have the ball absolutely new, swinging, the fielders of the opposition are fresh, and then you say your best batsman should not open the innings because they would be exposed to risk, and therefore the tail-enders should come and open the batting because they can face the risk. It's very funny, it's very cruel. In fact, you're asking a little more inept people who are not that prepared to face the risk of the moving ball, the seaming ball, and then you're preserving wickets later when the ball is older, which also means that your openers are not good enough. So it's in a way cruel. So currency risk is something that should be managed by everyone, the private sector and the public sector. There should be no difference. Moreover, the Indian government should show leadership. If we can ask the private sector to manage currency risk, short-term and long-term, what's wrong in the government of India learning how to manage currency risk for the short-term and for the long-term, and setting high standards of performance of how to manage risk, and thereby treat everybody in the context of being a team? Why should we separate the private sector from the public sector in the management of the nation's economy? Are we not all in it together? And that's exactly what Kriya Shakti thinks it is. We are all in it together to manage the economy of India. We wish to collaborate with 5 of the great pillars of the Indian economy: the enterprise sector, the corporate sector, the financial sector, including the banks and the Reserve Bank of India, the government sector, and the education sector. And I want to focus some attention on the education sector. Our students in colleges and schools and universities should learn that government is part of the creative force that makes this economy work, and look forward to the future. And that today's students are tomorrow's performers, the doers. So we are all in it together. On Guru Poornima Day, we thank all our teachers. We say hello to all our teachers, so that our teachers today will tell our children, our students, that India is a land of opportunity. The opportunities are vast. We need to have restless energy, channelize them, make no distinction between the private sector and the public sector. Together, we should be able to work towards India's future. हमारे देश की क्षमता बढ़नी चाहिए. We have to do that completely. We cannot be sitting idle. We are all in it together.